They wouldn't be human if they weren't subconsciously aware of the fact that this team, the core of this team, mightn't be getting a whole lot more many chances to win a Grand Slam. Throughout the Six Nations, Ireland effectively won the Grand Slam in their third quarters. If you add them up over the 5 matches, they're actually behind at half-time in total points difference. But they absolutely blitzed teams in the third quarters.
You just need to encourage them to go out and play. This thing just wasn't going to happen. Wales were playing for a championship. You know, they were playing for an awful lot of things themselves. You could say if they get one more score, they can win the championship because the points differential then comes into it. But you just stay positive and say, look, we just need to go after this.
I didn't even know the score, to be honest. Didn't know the score at all.
Yeah, 6-0 down, I don't think was a big problem for us. I don't think we had a lot of possession and we had a good bit of territory. And I don't think we were overly concerned.
You know, it was crucial that Ireland went out and scored first, and you know, I think that was mentioned at half-time that we needed to be the first team to go out and put points on the board, whether it be a penalty, a drop kick, or a try, which would have been the perfect scenario.
Tomas was gone. He had been tackled, so I played scrum half off a ruck, popped it to Paulie, and Lukey was on his shoulder.
So he made that pass to me there. So I lay it back, and he just picks it straight there.
And then I managed to get in afterwards and rip it off Paulie.
I'd say he knew what he was doing, yeah. You know, I mean, I'd say he was planning it as he was passing it to me, you know.
And then dive all of half a foot. I wasn't certain if I'd gotten down. I thought I had.
No, I didn't. I didn't have a clue.
I was right next to him.
He just wondering why he wouldn't pass the ball to me.
Try yes or no.
I definitely didn't see it. I don't think many of our lads saw it. I don't know if Drico even knew if he scored it.
Fair play to the referee because, you know, listening to the commentary afterwards, they didn't know what he was blowing up for.
When he first signalled the desire to go to TMO, there was barely a murmur in the ground. Nobody had any great sight of this try. Nobody thought it was actually going to happen. It was only when it was shown on the replay that, oh, wait a second, O'Driscoll might have scored here.
It's a try out of nothing, you know. Got us back in the game, and I suppose then we knew we had to kick on from there.
Here we go.
Oh, jeez, don't get him started. He hasn't stopped since.
We leave you for a few minutes, will we?
Rob, tell us about it anyway.
And all of a sudden it feels like there are 18 or 20,000 Irish people here.
A lot of the play that we'd used up to then was actually to get, you know, for them to be thinking about something else, and then we do that crossfield kick. Obviously, you got to put something pretty special in there.
So I saw it the other night again. You nearly fumbled it, didn't you?
No.
Tommy Bowe had one thing on his mind, and that was get that ball.
We practice these moves all the time, and you know, half the time it never comes off. I mean, the kick by Rog pretty much was right in between Shane and Gavin Henson.
It goes back to you never know with the bounce of a rugby ball, and Tommy just attacks it there.
With a little kick, and there's belief there for Ireland, and maybe there's something in this. Maybe the opportunity is there. It is Tommy Bowe!
If I'm to be honest about that, like that's... The kick is put into space, but you get a very lucky bounce and you get a really hungry and determined winger.
It was, I'm getting that ball. Gavin Henson was going, I might get that ball.
And I think that's one of the things Tommy does brilliantly. He's, you know, it's a blatant disregard for his own body, the way he runs those hard lines.
You know, Gav gave me a nice smack in the stomach, winded me. So when I was running in, I scored and got back up. Jamie tried to jump at me and I couldn't breathe.
I was hoping he might get tackled about 5 metres before and just pop it up to me, but no joy.
Look at it now, I still struggle to think that it's even me, you know, scoring.
You need everything really to fall, you know, face up for that to work.
You never thought there was going to be that 14-point swing in the first 5 minutes after half-time. They did it by going after it. They didn't wait for it to come to them.
One of those plays coming off the training pitch does give everybody a great deal of satisfaction. And I think that one gave you as much satisfaction I've ever had in my life.
When you come out of a scrum or off a line or whatever, like, and there's a score of first phase, like, Draco scored one against France, I think, off a line-out. There was a break straight through and scored, like, and things like that just make it so easy when you can turn around, head back for the halfway line and get a minute off to drink a cup of water for a while.
I was sitting there with like this big massive bandage with like this big massive finger going, yeah, yes.
It's like when people ask you, you know, what did you learn from such and such a game? You just find yourself doing the right thing at the right time more often from experiences in the past.
Well, I think the sense of something special was something that built slowly but surely. Without a doubt, we certainly believe that we can, you know, win every game we go into. But as each game went along, and particularly the Scotland game, there was a challenge for us. You know, it was written up as a danger game for us. Even before the competition, you look at it and you say this one here could be, you know, fairly vital in the makeup of things.
In the ideal world, our objective was to build a squad over the course of the 12 months.
You know, in true Dickie's style, we would have never gotten ahead of ourselves, I think. You know, I mean, he made the 4 changes and you know, shook things up a bit.
We'd gotten to the point where I'd almost come to terms with the best I was going to get in this championship was, you know, 20-minute cameo off the bench, if you like. In many ways, you were looking at it going, well, Declan's not going to change this now.
When do you make changes? Do you wait until you lose? You talk about having subs on the bench and trusting them. Sometimes you have to show that trust.
Then teams read out and there's been a few changes and I was one of them. As a player, all you really want is a chance and to be given the opportunity to take one.
It's been a while since I, you know, put on the number 9 jersey, and just remember talking about before, it felt like a first cap again. The more times you play, you feel, you know, you want to play as though it's your last time in the jersey.
You know, if you look at that game, how tight it was, I think there was a ball that Scotland kicked out of their 22, it bounced. Tommy took a look at it, bounced again. Himself and Patterson went for a 50-50 ball, and it could have been a try against us as much as us saving it and staying inside their 22, and that would have been a big swing in the game at the time.
When the adversity hits the fan, or you know what hits the fan, you know, this team finds a way to just close down those opportunities that the opposition think they have. They weren't just going to lay down. They found a way to fight out of those moments. You know, when the pressure's on.
Still going and down, supports, but the final tackle is there.
Ireland are 40 minutes away from losing another Grand Slam dream. That's coming up after the news.
No, I think that's the beauty about the game. You know, it's you can never get the ideal scenario. You need the players to read the situation and use their abilities to play what's in front of them.
Noticeable that Ireland have upped the intensity.
It was a line out, and you know, I think just outside the 22. I remember getting the ball off the top and just having a quick look at the back of the line out and to see their tail gunner. And normally when you looked at the analysis, you could see that they just one fella who would fly off onto Raj.
I just turned and went straight up the field, and before the strings is already 10 metres gone.
Buying a bit of time and waiting for a bit of support to get through. I just heard roaring from behind me. I didn't exactly know who was shouting for the ball.
I can't believe he actually saw me. I thought he'd missed me because he veered off to the right, but yeah, he got the ball past me, and you know, there was a lot of emotions floating about for me that day, and to get that try was a nice moment for me.
What do you think of the celebration?
Yeah, Paulie'd be doing it soon enough.
I wouldn't risk it, but I had no problem with it. I thought it was grounded the ball perfectly, so no problem as long as he ground the ball.
Make sure you ground the
ball. The day he doesn't do it, there'll be trouble.
Try for Ireland, just when it was needed.
There's no need for that, the sort of celebration. It's not football, is it? Honestly, he needs to
type of guy
wise up that
guy.
Yeah, he does.
Mace,
is that where he's from?
Yeah. That's the type of fella he is, you know. I prefer to be on a football field in Old Trafford, I think.
Connor, I don't give a fiddler's you-know-what for winning a championship on points difference. This team's destiny is
the Grand Slam.
A Grand Slam. And that's all we want.
Babs Keating saying about pants